As I've gotten older, I've come to realize how much people will tell you about who they are or how they feel about you by their actions more than just what they tell you. Because I think, kind of like a younger version of ourselves, we kind of like to take a lot of things by face value. It's kind of like that thing with a child, right? Where if you tell a young child that Santa Claus is actually hiding in the bushes, they'll just believe you and they won't really pay attention to your actions of you probably like holding your laugh in at them believing something ridiculous. And as I've gotten older, I've come to realize how much people tell you so much about themselves through their actions and more specifically like their facial expressions. And it kind of saves me a lot of trouble because it's like the last thing I want to deal with is insincerity and people not telling me the truth because I admit I'm not always blunt about my feelings, of course, but I'm definitely on the more blunter side when it comes to life. And I remember this one girl a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we'll say more closer to a couple months ago. I asked for her phone number, right? And she's like this girl in my class. I thought she was really cute. Turns out she was a model too, which that's not why I initially found her attractive, but find that out, everything makes sense. So I asked for her number, and I could just tell through her just body language, like she kind of just like freeze and hesitates. So I'm just like, it's okay if you don't want to give it out, right? If you don't feel comfortable about that. She's like, no, no, I'm just out of breath or whatever. Because we were walking to her class, not her class, to her job, because she works at the little coffee store or cafe at my college campus. So I was just walking with her there. And I remember after she gives her number, I'm like, oh, let's go get boba or something. Because I wanted to go on a date with her, of course, just to get to know her. And she was just like, oh, well, I'm not sure. My schedule's just so busy, so packed. And once I start hearing that, it's just like, my gosh, this is just your way of telling me, yeah, dude, I don't ever want to have Boba with you. And it was fine. Like, I didn't take it personal or anything. I just told her, because I had told her prior, it's like, you don't feel comfortable having my phone number or you giving your phone number out to me, and it's fine. But of course, she gave it out anyways because she felt bad. But like her actions of just telling me, like, yeah, I know, like, I don't know if I can do it, blah, 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 like that told me so much more about what she was actually telling me is like, oh, she's so busy. Look, man, could she be a very busy person? Yeah, she like models for some agency at my school, of course. But like the thing is like people who tell you I'm so busy for this or I don't know, the best way if someone actually wants to hang with you, they'll say something around the lines like, I'm so busy, but I'll try to see with my schedule and we can work something out. Just keep in touch, right? Something like that. But anytime, especially with girls, I've noticed where they say, I'll let you know, is another way of saying, I'll let you know. That's what they really mean is no, no, no. And it's saved me a lot of trouble because, like, if a girl starts giving me the whole speech about, like, I just don't have so much time, I'm so busy, it's like, all right, bro. Like, if the president has time to freaking like tweet all the time and be overly like constantly on the internet and stuff, you definitely have the time. You just don't want to hang out with me. And it's just so much about how reading people's facial expressions will tell you a lot of things because it's like I feel like me as a direct person, it used to hurt me a lot more when people weren't direct and they would kind of give me bullcrap excuses. But once I started paying attention to people's actions and how they respond to things, I became a lot more wiser and I better understood, oh shoot, this person does not want to hang out with me. Like I remember one of my coworkers, I'll admit I found her cute and I asked for her Instagram. And honestly, I don't even know if I was really on the type of crap of like wanting to necessarily date her. Well, kinda, but when I go on dates, I mostly go for information. Like I don't treat like a first date as though it's like some super romantic endeavor. I treat it as like an information session because I think the best way to connect with people is in person. Like I remember one of the best romance advice a guy told me, which I don't know if I mentioned this in my other videos, but he basically said that the best way to get to know someone if you're really trying to date is through in person, which it seems obvious, but he made the point about how like we were designed to talk to people. And I agree with that. So that's how I do it. So, anyways, I asked her Instagram, and she does this like weird like twitch with her mouth whenever she's uncomfortable. And I noticed it prior, but she did it when I asked for her Instagram, and I was just like, "Oh, you don't want to give my Instagram. You don't want to give me your Instagram." And, she was kind of startled by that and called me bold for going like that. It's not me trying to use some reverse psychology where it's like, oh, no one could like me because I'm a loser. You just could never like me because I'm ugly. Like I wasn't trying to pull that nonsense. I was just genuinely being very direct. And she's like, no, I mean, I'm just very private with my Instagram, and like you could follow me because put me on request, and I'll see if I want to accept the request or not. Which after she said that, like I don't know if she was intending to be extremely disrespectful with that statement, but I was like, screw that. I immediately took off that request to follow thing because it's like, what you mean that you decide to follow me? Like what, or accept my follow request? Like you might as well have just said no. Like I don't feel comfortable with that because it's like I feel like because like I know a lot of times people won't tell you the direct things about something that's kind of uncomfortable when they don't like you. Like not everyone's direct, but I feel like if she's going to be as direct as to say I'll decide whether I want to add you, then you could have just been direct as in just saying no. Like if you weren't afraid to hurt my feelings by saying something like that, then tell me the truth. Because I'll admire when people are direct and tell me stuff like that because it makes my life easier. Because it's so important to pay attention to how people treat you and how they kind of your facial expressions. I'm not saying that I'm all knowing that whenever I read someone's facial expression, I'm like 100% right all the time. But I will say I am a lot more right than I like to believe myself because I like to overthink and just make everything about, oh, well, give them a bit of a doubt, which I think you should give people the bit of a doubt. But I've come to realize, oh, pay attention to people's expressions more. Because I remember one time I met this one girl where I was at like this school fair. It's like basically essentially this fair at my school where they broadcast all the school clubs and stuff. It's really cool. I like going there just to learn about any new clubs, but also to meet people. That's like my main thing. It's like I think people are quite social there. And I remember I met this girl, and I could just tell immediately from her vibe that she didn't like me. And I don't know this for sure. Like I don't have proof that she doesn't like me, but I could just kind of tell. And then when I saw her again, it wasn't the same level of what I felt with that vibe, but similar enough where I was like, I can just tell by how your body language is and your actions, you don't like me. And that kind of sucks because it's like you don't know me, but you have already made this based off of so little. And it is kind of weird because I find myself putting myself into that trap where I immediately just don't like someone after just meeting them. Now, obviously, someone can say something crazy and then make you not like them. Like, of course, there are things that are just absolutely just trigger worthy, but I hadn't said anything that wild, really. And no, I could just tell she didn't like me, and that's okay. I mean, I'm learning to kind of just not care whether people like me. Like, obviously, I'll care if I hurt someone, but like, if I haven't hurt anyone and you just don't like me, oh well. The world's too big for me to worry about one person's opinion. Like, if you live and die off of the opinions of others, you will suffer one of the worst existences. Like, I honestly believe it is better to be someone who does not give a crap about what people think of them and be a bad person than to be a complete people pleaser. And sure, you're technically a good person, but you like literally have no boundaries or no set of standards. You just get tossed aside by the will of other people's feelings. And that's not the person I want to be. But yeah, I thought I'd talk about that. Just pay attention to people's actions, especially when it comes to hanging out and relationships, because it's like that's how you know if someone really respects you or wants to do something with you. Is just pay attention to their facial expressions and also the type of excuses, because you'll learn so much about people. But anyways, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.